So we will start about the web components. So is my screen is visible? There is any kind of issue in the camera?
No, of course it's clear. No issue.
Okay. So let me start about the web components. So it is not a kind of a framework; it's a web standards. It will use us to create some custom elements with the encapsulation of all the styling, and it doesn't require any third-party libraries or frameworks, and we can use it to any other libraries or framework. So it's all of our custom elements, HTML templates, as well as the shadow DOM. I know some people are very much aware of it. So let us start step by step. So the web components are three main of building blocks. One is the custom element, and the shadow DOM, the HTML template. So the custom element, which is kind of you can use your own name for each and every element. So the shadow DOM, which will encapsulate all our stylings as well as the scripts, everything. And the HTML templates, it's kind of used to create all our HTML templates. If we dive into this, so the custom elements. So we will create a custom HTML tag using extending the HTML element, and we can use in our HTML page. And these are the life cycle callbacks of the web components: connected callback, disconnected callback, connected attributes. So I'll show how it works, as well as the shadow DOM. It's actually used to encapsulate all our markups, stylings, everything into a shadow DOM. So if you're not aware of the shadow DOM, actually everyone knows about the video tag of HTML. So even it is a custom element. It is actually a video element is encapsulated under the shadow DOM only. Okay, let's get started to the coding a little bit. Are you visible my code, Rita?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So it's nothing more than that. I just have an index.html and a simple JS. Okay, so I'll just start with HTML. So let's give some components. So just have some HTML, simple. So bring back to browser. Okay, it's just an hello right now. So I'm going to give some directly swapping to the profile card.js. Here what we are going to do is, so first we have created a basic HTML element, then we are going to create a class and extend the HTML element. So here my JS, so I'm going to create a class. My class name is a profile card. Which extends the HTML element, which has a constructor. And what we are going to have is, so then we are going to create a constructor and define the element. So we need to just put as the start in our HTML. Okay, I'm saving this dot inner HTML equal to okay. So what I am doing is to save it. Here I'm going to use my custom element. Okay, I'm starting back to the browser. Oops, it's not displaying because we need to define our class with the HTML element. So we need to define the element. So how do we can do that? So we need to define our element. Window dot So I'm going to define my element name as a profile card, and here we are going to give a class profile card. So here I'm defining my element. So here I'm swapping back to the browser. First refresh, it's still not there. So here I'm going. So here you can see the
It has stopped the sharing, I think so.
Ganesh, we are not able to hear.
okay, just what on touch point. Now are you able to do this?
No.
Now it's visible.
Yes. No, it's visible.
Okay, seems to be fine. Oops, I forgot to import the script. Script .c. Here you can able to see the John Deere, right? So yes, let me use some stylings and we can see how to pass the properties, and then we see how the shadow DOM works. Okay, so here I'm going to pass a property. So name equal to some channel review. So here I'm switch back to the class custom HTML. So everyone, I think a little bit aware of the template literals. So I'm getting this get attributes of name. So here I'm refreshing. You can see this is how we can pass the props. Now let me see how the shadow DOM works, as well as we need to encapsulate our styling. So here what I'm going to do is just create a style tab. I'm going directly column HTML. Okay. So here I'm going to refresh it. So you can see it will apply to here because it is not a H3. I'm going to make this also an H3 one. So H3, and we can confirm it's a style applies here also. Oops. Okay, the style applies here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give here a separate style. Right. It's not applying. So even if I'm going to comment, it's going to approve only the so everything would change to the color which we are given into the shadow DOM. But what we are expecting result is we are going to encapsulate the styling. So for that we are going to use the shadow root. So here and so we need to, if we're going to encapsulate everything into a component, we need to attach the shadow DOM. So I'm just using this. Going to attach some shadow root. Then we are going to use the shadow root to open the HTML element. So that's why we going to differ the styling from here. So the shadow root we need to define the template content. So I'm going to just get rid of this. I'm going to create a template. So that will help us to. So I'm going just to use it, create a template, and we are going to define the template. So here what we have done is we have created a template tag by creating element template, and we have put some inner HTML here, and the inner HTML content in the shadow root we have defined a query selector and append to it. So in the inner HTML I think we have just enough to give some H3 only. Get rid of all of this. Am I able to view my screen still? So here the element has been shown. So now we are going to use some custom avatar, and we are going to give some script to it. So here you can see there are two. We can differ the colors as well as you can see the one is having a different color. The shadow root having encapsulated with the styling.
Harish, I believe the screen is not updating. I still see the code in the top.
Star and again. Sure.
Yeah.
Now are you able to view my screen?
The code editor visible.
Okay. So here what I am done is so created a template. So here I am given a query selector and added to it. So here I color given color as a blue as you shown earlier. So here I given as a color as a different one. So I am switching back to the browser. You can see each and every element has a different thing. So it's everything under a shadow DOM. So I'll show you. Here you can see my custom tag. So here you can extending the element like shadow root. Here my custom styling is all here. So this is how the browser displays the shadow DOM. So everything is under one custom HTML tag. So here we are going to send other props like some images to add it to it. So for that I am using some random user images for adding some avatars. So here what it is. Avatar. So I'm giving this. I'm going to add some image tag here and append it to it. So I'm just using this. Getting that bit of avatar. So here you can see some random image we got. So now what we are going to do is to bring up the slots, and we are going to use some random values there. So now we are going to use the slots. Then we are going to connect some event listeners using the lifecycle method. For that I am having some HTML templates, some styling. So I'm going to use that. So just for a time saving, I'm just going to get rid of it. It's a basic styling, and what we are going to do is something like user card, image, everything. Okay. Okay. Refresh the screen. So here you can see the image as well as the props, and here's the dummy button. So there is no still we are not implemented any event listeners to it. So here I'm going to create one more thing so we can see how it's work. Okay. Okay. I just remove this arrow. For a time being. Okay. Seems to be fine. Now what we are going to do is we are going to pass some email as well as the phone number using the slots. So the slots are custom element tags based on the web components. So here I'm going to pass email, use the same phone number. I'm going to open the slots for it. So here I'm going to use some sorry, I just made a mistake, so it's a 0 slots. Go to email. Yeah, here we can bring up the things. So for the same, we can also have some here. So here you can see that. Now what I'm going to do is to add some event listener using the lifecycle method for this. For this I'm going to define a component. So for that I'm using I already write down the scripts, so I'm going to use that. Using the two methods is a connected callback as well as a disconnected callback. So letting swap back to the slide. So the connected callbacks invoke immediately after the first element is connected. So the disconnected callback will invoke when the element has been disconnected from the DOM. So these are the two lifecycle methods we are going to use here. Run that stump stuff. So I'm going to use it here. It's nothing but just a toggle info. I already given this here. Some toggle info. I'm going to initiate it. So connected callback. I'm going to call this add a event listener. So with the toggle info, it's just going to hide and show the display block. So disconnected callback will disconnect it. Just to use it. Outside the component hides all the class. So, okay. So here we go. So thing is hide info, show info. So that's it. This is how the shadow DOM will work. So here you can see we are having the two custom elements with the different properties and different stylings, and each one having a separate event handlers. Any questions?
Hello.
Yeah.
I have one question. Like this is entire web component is written in JS, right?
Sorry, there is some background noise. I couldn't able to hear you.
This web component is written in JS, right?
Yes.
So the browser has to load this profile card.js.
Yes.
So
right.
until then, while loading it, will there be any element there, or will there be like what will be displayed? Is what I wanted to know.
No, actually the idea behind the web component is we going to minimize our coding, not to load a huge set of data, as you told, although it's taking some load time kind of stuff. So we are going to minimize this. So as the video element renders, so even though if we are using some video tag, it's actually renders as an shadow root only. So default video tag. So it's kind of a shadow root only. So it will be rendered as fast, and it doesn't depend upon any other libraries or any other frameworks. But this webcon can be used in any other libraries as well as framework.
Is there any use case like where web component is useful? I mean, a small use case where where having web components may be useful.
Yeah, even as I told, we are using the video tag for such a long time in HTML. Actually, it is a web component and it is based on only the shadow, but we didn't aware of that, most of the people. So that's why the huge usage are brings in. So I think everyone know about the video tag. So it is completely based on the web component. So first I'm going to copy something to show you. So here you can see even the video tag, it is a web component. It's having some shadow root and it's having a very own styling. You can see that. So we are already using it, but now we are using more, like we are going to have some many more web components like custom classes and passing the values to you. Yeah, Bharat, the sessions are is recording and we will upload it to YouTube and share with everyone. No issues on that. Everyone clear? For any other thing?
Instead of slots, is it possible to add as an attributes, use an attributes instead of slots? Or why
So
do
here
we use slots?
So here that I am showing, there are two different ways. So here you can see we can add in some attributes, some also, and if you want more, we can do the slots. Slots are a custom thing which can able to pass the values. So you can
But
see
if we want specific CSS, then we need to use slots, right? If you want to, no need. So for each attributes also you can apply for CSS.
Yeah, we can some pass some CSS as well.
Okay.
Pass some custom CSS and bring up here. So instead of messing up every other things, like we are way back into the, like lot of things like the colliding between the each and every element on the styling as well as the scripting. It will give us some
Clean coding.
yeah,
Usability.
yeah. It's better work. Clean coding as well as it doesn't override with any other thing, like any mess up with any other elements. So
Okay.
kind of it's a kind of a way of web standard. Not we are going to use any other library or a framework to help this. It's kind of a way of web standard we are practicing here.
Okay. Got it.